and welcome to the Content Bite, a podcast for freelancers who use their words to make money. I'm Rachel Smith, a freelance journalist, copywriter, and content producer. I'm also the founder of Rachel's List, a jobs board and community for Australian writers and other creatives.
And I'm Lynne Testoni. I'm a journalist and a content writer as well. Rachel and I are your weekly co-hosts, and every week we're bringing you all kinds of tips, tricks, and some fabulous guests to help you make the most of your freelance business. This podcast is sponsored by our good friends at Rounded, easy accounting and invoicing software made just for Australian freelancers and sole traders. It's everything you need to make freelancing easier. Find out more at rounded.com.au.
Also, if you're a gold member of Rachel's List, Rounded is giving you 20% off an annual subscription plan. Upgrade to gold membership for all the details.
Well, hello everyone. It's Lynne here, and unfortunately, poor Rachel is sick, so it's a solo episode for me. Well, not really solo because I've got an amazing guest today. This week is all about working with agencies, which is another topic inspired by our listeners, and we really love it when listeners come up with some ideas and requests. It's great because we know a lot of freelancers work for agencies, and it can be a different way of working and a great way to secure new clients. So we thought we'd get an agency person in to chat about it and talk about how freelancers can secure agency work. And I'm really excited to have Renee Francis on the pod today. She's the founder and director of The Bubble Co., which is a full-service digital marketing agency established in 2016. So if you're by a desire to shake up the 9 to 5, I can feel you there. Renee founded The Bubble Co. to free herself and others from fixed working routines to offer career flexibility and a better life balance. So today, Renee leads a team of 13 freelancers, which is great, all entrepreneurs and small business owners themselves, and she's based all across Australia and New Zealand. The Bubble Co. structure is fully flexible and fully remote, with the team collaborating to help clients with digital marketing strategy, web development, content, social media campaigns, and more. So welcome, Renee. So great to have you join me.
Thanks, Lynne. Thanks for having me.
It's lovely to see you. We've worked together, so that's nice. It's always good to have connections, and it's always good to have a good contact book. Tell me a little bit about your background before you started the agency.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually started my career, as most people do, working the 9 to 5, and I was actually mainly working in sales and marketing roles. So in my early 20s, I very quickly decided that I couldn't do that forever. So I started seeking flexibility pretty early on. So in my early 20s, I started doing some freelancing, some contracting jobs, and that was in addition to my full-time job. And then what I started doing is I actually just started taking on contract roles only. So maternity leave contracts, or a 3-month project role, or 6-month here. And the reason for that is I knew that I had an end date. So I knew I needed to get in there, make an impact. And then I had an end date, and I was really excited to go off and do something new again.
Yeah. And
it actually gave me so much experience across like many different companies. So I think I worked across about 10 different companies in 10 years. And the biggest thing it actually did was introduce me to loads of different people, right?
So it really helps your network, I guess, doesn't it?
It absolutely did. And I got to learn a lot of different types of people. So one thing I learned was, we had this industrial revolution over 200 years ago, and yet now we're still working in the same way. And that way doesn't really work for everybody. So
yeah.
In offices and in the corporate world, I would see people stumbling into the office at like 8:45 or 9 a.m. trying to function. And that didn't really work for them. They were useless at that time of the day, right? But then come 1 p.m. in the afternoon, those people were awesome contributors to the business. And I always thought, you shouldn't start working at 9 a.m. You should start working at 1 p.m. because that's when we get the best out of you, right? So this one size fits all approach, it just doesn't work for everybody. And on top of that, I didn't like just working for one brand, right? As a creative like you, Lynne, and probably many of your listeners, we seek different projects and brands to keep ourselves like stimulated all the time. And so I started seeking a lot of flexibility for myself in my lifestyle and in the way that I was working. And I knew others did, because I would speak to these people every day and they weren't happy with the structure that they were into. So in 2016, after many years of juggling full-time contracts and freelancing at the same time, I actually decided to start the Bubble Co. And our model is quite unique and it's worked really well so far. So we're all remote, we all work flexible hours, and we literally just have one motto, which is as long as the clients have what they need by, when they need it by, then it doesn't matter if someone is working at midday or midnight. And our whole team, they're freelancers, they're small business owners themselves. And all we do is we just collaborate to provide awesome value to our clients. And everyone gets to work flexibly and they get to work on the other projects and clients as well, as long as there's no conflict of interest. So there's benefit of both worlds that we all get. And we get to work independently as a freelancer and we get to have that benefit of coming together as a team as well. So that's a little bit about my background.
Yes, that sounds really good. So do you have like core clients on retainer, or is most of your work sort of more project based?
No, we do. So most of our clients are on retainer style. We work with really large national and multinational companies now. So we start with their digital strategy first and foremost. So we help them formulate what their digital marketing strategy is. And a lot of freelancers, agencies do that. But the difference is we then implement it for them on a month-to-month basis, right? So we actually, with some of our clients, act as their marketing team. And with others, we act as an extension of their marketing team. But most of our clients are on sort of month-to-month retainer-based work.
So what is it about you working with freelancers that works for you or appeals to you?
For me, it's about their mindset. So I say this respectfully, but we don't tend to collaborate with your typical 9-to-5 employee, right? Freelancers have skin in the game. They get it. They've been running their own business or they've been servicing clients. And they really understand what it takes to deliver that awesome level of value for clients.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
They've just got a different way about how they work, and we love it.
What do they bring that's different to in-house? That's what you're saying, that flexibility and that ability to go that extra mile?
Yeah, it's the mindset, it's the flexibility, it's their hunger, and it's the grit that they have. So freelancers have often been through it all, right?
Yes.
They've worked with the clients that don't pay invoices. They've had to go through 14 revisions on a piece of work, right?
Yes.
I mean, they're just two examples that come to mind. But because they're working on their own projects and clients, they also then bring a fresh perspective, fresh ideas, learnings back to our own clients as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really cool differentiator for why we work with freelancers.
So what sort of things do you think that there are particular skills that freelancers should bring, or some skills that might be in more demand? Like I'm thinking more like technical skills or practical skills rather than just mindset.
Yeah, I mean, freelancers are experts in their field, right? So they're either an expert content writer, or they're an expert website developer, or they're an expert graphic designer. The fact that they've gone out and they're doing it on their own, they are the expert in their field, right? And obviously that's what we look for. I mean, that's very important that they know what they're doing. But that, over the last few years of, running and growing this business, there's a clear difference between people's mindset, and that has made a big difference for us, definitely.
So one of the big differences about working with agencies is about how they get paid, because I think some freelancers worry that you end up being paid less by an agency because obviously there's some margins in place and maybe they might have to get less than what they're worth. What are your tips for negotiating higher rates? How does that work?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. The way I see it is, if they're working with a good agency, an agency that values them, understands the value of their work and what they bring to the market, then it shouldn't be challenging and it shouldn't have all these difficulties. So agencies that are after a quick, cheap deal with a freelancer, they're not the ones that freelancers probably want to forge long-lasting relationships with anyway, right?
Yeah.
So the way our model works, it actually benefits freelancers in so many ways. we actually tend to pay freelancers a higher rate to help them cover things like their tax, their super, and all those things. But the other benefit that the freelancer gets is they don't have to do the sales pitch or the proposal or the selling, right? So,
or the hustle,
right? So, the way I see it is there's so many freelancers out there, like we said, that are experts at what they do. They're experts at the writing, the graphic design, the web development, whatever it may be. And they went into their solo business because they are good at what they do and they want to provide that great value to the market. But then there's that piece that is sometimes missing that they didn't realize, I also have to be a salesperson.
Yes.
I also have to go and sell myself now. And that is very uncomfortable for a lot of freelancers.
So that's what you do. You're going out and doing the hustle so we don't have to.
Correct. Exactly right. That's exactly right. So look, I think that the best advice I have for freelancers and the best way to approach it is to try and set a rate with the agency up front for your services. This actually helps provide clarity for the freelancer, for the agency when they're quoting and proposing to clients. And if the freelancer can form, a good relationship with an agency, it cuts out all that guesswork, the back and forth. It allows it to just flow. The freelancer doesn't have to do all the selling. And I think if there's a set rate up front, it helps forge that long-lasting relationship because then the work can flow through to the freelancer on an ongoing basis and a lot faster and smoother and easier.
Yeah, I guess it's that clarity, as you said, so everyone knows what's up and you don't have to keep negotiating. If you say you use a particular writer and they're $100 an hour or $80 an hour, that's just easy, and then you can pick the right one for the project. Would that be it?
Yeah, absolutely. And knowing that rate up front, knowing if it's $80 or $100, and then as an agency quoting or proposing to these clients, we know straight away which freelancers we can put on a certain project, whether they can be pitched for that certain project at all, and all those sorts of things. It just provides so much more clarity.
Yeah. So what about the opposite thing? So why would clients go to an agency instead of freelancers directly?
Look, the way I see it, and what I hear so much from our clients is that clients want everything under the one roof, right?
Yeah.
So it's often so much easier for a client to go to one place and get their design, their writing, their campaign work, the execution, the strategy, everything. And I hear this actually a lot from our clients. And recently they've said it a lot, which is, we don't want one agency or freelancer for design, another one for content writing, another one for, if we can get it all in the one place, it makes everything so much easier for us. And then there's the logistics and admin side of it as well, which means they're getting one invoice at the end of the month, which makes their life so much easier, right?
Yeah.
Rather than juggling 6 different invoices. So that's probably the biggest benefit that, I've seen personally, that our clients benefit from using an agency.
So do you think a lot of the work of the agency, your day-to-day stuff, is all about balancing those client expectations? I mean, that's a big part of it, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Managing client expectations is so important. One thing I find, Lynn, is just simply letting a client know that we've received their request.
Yes.
Not even answering the request, not even giving a solution to the request, but just letting them know we've received the request is so much better than just not responding to them at all, right? Or not responding to them until you've got the solution.
Is that not constant communication, but appropriate communication?
Absolutely. Communication is so key, right? So acknowledgement emails or acknowledgement calls or text messages just go such a long way, right? Because the client then goes, oh, cool, they've got my request. I trust that they're working on it. I trust that someone's looking at it. I guess I said earlier, we have one motto and we've got a sub motto, which is as long as we are chasing the clients and they're not chasing us, then we're in a good spot.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. A bit more control that way.
Yeah, exactly. So we want to be like on our clients' back rather than them chasing us and following us up for things all the time.
So if you're looking for writers and freelancers generally, are there particular qualifications you look for, or is it more about a portfolio? And if you is about a portfolio. What sort of things should be in a portfolio?
It's definitely a portfolio. I love having a look at past examples of people's work. A lot of our freelancers and contractors either have like a very simple website set up or a nice sort of digital profile that they send through. I think a portfolio of work actually just goes so much further than any qualifications. Honestly, hands-on experience and a portfolio of work to show, hands down, any day I would prefer that over qualifications. Qualifications alone.
Fair enough. We've often talked on the podcast about having a website of your own. I think that's a big mistake if you don't. Is that a given that you'd have a freelancer who has a website just so that they already have a digital footprint?
Yes, I guess is the general answer to that. I would say that there's probably only 2 people in my team of 13 who don't have a website. And we brought them on based on their mindset, their flexibility, their grit, their willingness to deliver for clients. Otherwise, a portfolio of work is super important. And it also comes down to the type of freelancer that you are. So if you're a graphic designer, then absolutely you need a portfolio of work and you need a website to showcase visually what you're capable of.
Yeah.
Similar with a writer, a website developer, those sorts of freelancers. Whereas, freelancers that are more business admin or support roles, that may not be as relevant to have a website.
Yeah.
So it definitely comes down to the role.
Fair enough. Do you see a lot of mistakes that freelancers make? What are the big ones that you see?
Yeah, interesting question. There are a few that come to mind immediately. But if I have to pick one major mistake, it can be that they get too emotionally attached to their work.
Oh, yeah.
I understand that creative work can be personal. I get that, right? Because, we put our hearts and souls into our creative work. But at the end of the day, we always need to step back and ask ourselves, does it deliver to the brief? Will it deliver results? Will it perform? Is it delivering to client expectations? Is the client getting what they want, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the client getting the results they want is way more important than us personally liking a particular color, image, or word, right?
Yeah.
So it's so much more important to deliver awesome value, ensure the client is happy, get them the results they desire, compared with personally liking something. So I think that's probably one of the major mistakes that comes to mind for freelancers, especially when it comes to, in the design field and the writing field, because it can be very emotional.
Yeah, we do sometimes get a personal attachment to our work, and that's true. And I think you possibly do that more at the beginning of your career.
Yes.
I've certainly over the years, I'm way less precious than I used to be, but maybe when I was in my 20s, I might have been more attached to it, because after a while you realize it's not personal, it's just business.
That's exactly right. Yes.
So do you have some tech tips? Because we ask each of our guests about their tech tips, and we often love it. We love a good gadget or a good website or tool. So Tell us, are there any digital tools you use? You're all about the digital, Renee.
I am. I don't even know where to start with answering this.
Well, that's good. Good. All our listeners will get out their pen and paper if they're old school, but probably their phones, and write it down.
Okay, I'm gonna go something very different. Probably not something that's been spoken about before, and maybe not something that people think of. But I'm a very passionate cryptocurrency investor.
Oh yes,
and I think one of the most important tech tools to have if you're into cryptocurrency is to have a cold storage wallet. So something like a Ledger Nano wallet. It kind of looks like a little USB drive. But it is the most secure way to store your cryptocurrency from hacking and all of those nasty things. So that's going to be my tech tip.
That's fantastic. That's true. We've never had that before.
Okay, cool. I'm glad I brought something different.
Yeah, fantastic. so much to think about, Renee. That's really good. I think our listeners find it really helpful. So tell us a little bit about where they can find you and your work.
Absolutely. So you can jump on our website first and foremost. So thebubbleco, all one word, .com.au. You can find me, Renee Francis, on LinkedIn is probably your best bet. And yeah, get in touch. Happy to connect.
Oh, fantastic. Wow, so much information. I think that's really inspiring, Renee. I really enjoyed our chat. Thanks to everyone who's listening. And thanks again to our sponsors, rounded.com.au, which is easy accounting and invoicing software made just for Australian freelancers and sole traders. So find out more at rounded.com.au. And hopefully next week, Rachel will be back and then we will have a new guest and everyone will be well. But thanks, Renee. Bye.
Thanks, Lynne. Thank you. Bye.